On this week's episode of Pop Culture Weekly, it's all about Apple TV Plus's series, The Foundation. Let's go!
Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon from iHeartRadio. Your pop culture news, views, reviews, and celebrity interviews on all the movies, TV, music, and pop culture you crave weekly. Here's Kyle McMahon.
Hello, and welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and this week's episode is all about the Apple TV Plus series, The Foundation, which Season 2 dropped Friday. The first episode of Season 2 dropped Friday on Apple TV Plus, and it is really good. If you noticed, by the way, we had a backlog with, normally we come out Fridays. Anyway, I'm here. I let you guys know. It's all good. I love you. So if you are unaware, the series, The Foundation, is based on the series of literary works, which are considered like the greatest sci-fi literary works of all time by Isaac Asimov, also considered Unfilmable. And I think that this series proves that, well, one, it was, in fact, filmable, but two, it actually was, in fact, filmable. They found great ways to do it. The writers and producers and directors, of the series are all very, very hugely creative people who found a way to make it filmable. So The Foundation is basically a saga that covers, 1,000 years of the Foundation, which they are a group of exiles who discover that the only way to save the galactic empire from destruction is to defy the galactic empire. It's really good. It's very thinky. Thinky, is that the best way to say it? Very thoughtful. Or no, thought-provoking. There we go. It's very thought-provoking, and the acting is amazing. The whole series is really, really great. Season 2 started, Friday, or depending on when you listen to this, I guess. But Season 2 is being released now, and Season 3 is actually already filming, so that's awesome. David S. Goyer is kind of the creative mind behind this, so I talked to him today. I talked to the stars Lee Pace and Laura Birn. If you're unfamiliar with David S. Goyer, he is a writer, director, producer. He's behind such films as The Dark Knight, Man of Steel, Terminator Dark Fate, the Blade films. Incredible guy. And Lee Pace, the Emmy-nominated Lee Pace, you may know as Thranduil the Elven King in the Hobbit trilogy, one of my favorite trilogies ever. He was also Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel, and he plays Brother Day. So I also talked to Laura Birn, who she's Finnish actress who stars as Edo, who is one of the last surviving androids from the ancient robot wars. So really heavy, thought-provoking, incredible sci-fi stuff, and I'm excited to talk to him. So let's start out with the one and only David S. Goyer. So first of all, congratulations on this incredible undertaking, both literally and figuratively. Season 2 continues on with that, and I think takes it even further. What drew you? I mean, this is one of the, if not the most beloved sci-fi literature in the world. And it's so big and so vast and covers so many things. What made you say, I want to tackle that?
Hubris. I've had the good fortune of already adapting some of the things that I was a fan of, whether it be Batman, Superman, working on Terminator, working on a Darth Vader story, things like that. Foundation was always something that I had admired as a kid. Famously, it was considered unadaptable. And, I think it's just the challenge of trying to take on something like that and feeling like even though the source material was written 70 years ago, there was still a message that was really vital in there that people needed to hear now more than ever. And it would be boring if I just tried to work on things that were easy. I think it would be boring for the audience. You have to push people. You've got to take stories in an unexpected direction.
Yeah, I think, as you're saying that, occurs to me that that's kind of what great art does, I think, often is challenges us, in many different ways. So when you're doing something like this, something as big and vast as as all of these works, how do you determine, because as you said, it was largely considered unadaptable, how do you determine what parts you're going to adapt and how?
Anytime I'm adapting something, I try to sit down, whether it's with myself or people I'm collaborating with, and I try to say, can we identify the core elements that make the source material, the DNA of it? And so early on, I was talking to Robin Asimov, Isaac Asimov's daughter, who was sort of the keeper of the estate. And I wrote down, a list of 10 or 12 things that I thought made Foundation. And I just said, did I get it right? And she said, you did. So I said, okay, fine. So then we're starting from the same place. We knew we had to adapt it. There's tons of stuff in the books that happens completely. The Empire falls off screen in just, a single line of dialogue in between books. The first book is just a collection of loosely connected short stories. So we knew there was adaptation to be done, but we just needed to make sure that we weren't betraying the DNA of the source material, the DNA of Asimov. And fortunately, in Robin, who's an executive producer, his daughter, we've got someone that we can constantly sort of get a gut check with.
I love that. And in many ways, it's a Bible, for so many fans over so much time. Was that something that adds to pressure? Or is that something you're able to keep out of your mind so you can focus? Or how does that work for David?
Look, it's always a challenge. I mean, I remember when I was working on Batman Begins with Chris Nolan, and we knew that we wanted to expand the audience for people we wanted to bring in fans who weren't particularly fans of Batman, who would say, oh my God, I enjoy this movie. So we had, on one hand, we had the fans and we had this sort of those core elements that we needed to stay true to. And on the other hand, we had the broader audience. And so the thing that we always ask ourselves when we're telling these stories is, does this particular storyline work if you pull the science fiction out of it? Does it work if you haven't read the books? Because it has to. For this show to work, it's got to appeal to an audience of millions of people around the world, the vast majority of which will have never read the books and do not consider themselves science fiction fans. So how do you appeal to both audiences at once? And that's the tightrope that you have to walk as a creator.
Well, I think you did an amazing job. I can't wait for everybody to see season 2, and then I can't wait for Beyond. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. David S. Goyer. Love him and love, hearing his thoughts on bringing this unfilmable series to become a series. So unfilmable work, I should say, was considered an unfilmable, literary series that could never be brought to movies or TV. And here we go. Next up, Lee Pace and Laura Birn. I love both of these guys. Are such talented actors. I love Lee Pace because I love the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I love the Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson universe. So Thranduil the Elven King and Ronan the Accuser, like what? So anyway, without further ado, Lee Pace and Laura Birn. First of all, thank you both for speaking with me. I really appreciate it. I love the series, and season 2 continues that. What is it like for you both as actors to do something that is big, both in terms of, for sci-fi, for, I think, television in general? It's very ambitious. It is one of, if not the most beloved sci-fi, literature out there. Does that weigh on you as actors at all?
Or like winning the lottery than like a weight on your shoulders, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm having a blast playing the character.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot of fun. I think he's absolutely nuts. I play, for someone who isn't not familiar with the show, I play the Emperor of the Galaxy. I play, to make it even funnier, I play a sequence of cloned emperors of the galaxy. So I'm number 18. So for the past 300 years, we've been cloned to take on this absurd role. So the character is totally bigger than life, and it's really fun to play something so big, and it is a challenge, but the challenge is like an intellectual one. It's like a mind. The show is full of these like mind experiments, intellectual kind of riddles about what it means to be a person. Where will technology take us? I want to take your 4 minutes. I'll ramble, man. I will.
No, ramble. I love it. You play. There's a clone. There's an android. Is there an element of fun to it? Because it is heavy stuff, in my opinion. But as an actor, is there an element of fun to kind of be in this insanely well built out world?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. We have these like exquisite sets, and we get to sit on these thrones pretending to be the Emperor of the Galaxy. And then we go out to the desert in the Canary Islands, and we've got a whole fleet of Imperial warships with us. I mean, I feel like I
play a robot who's like 25,000 years old.
Right. You look great for 25,000 years, by the way.
Thank you. They're in the future in space. They're very, So it's a lot of fun. And I think for us, it gets even just more and more fun. Like our relationship season 2, it just evolves to this crazier thing. Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's great. I mean, she's, well, just to get, I mean, here's the setup. I'm a series of cloned emperors, and the one who raises me, my mother, my advisor, is this, exquisite piece of machinery.
Who teaches them everything they know, who controls their memories, she's the only one bringing them up.
Yeah. And in this season, I've fallen in love with her. So I've got this, this sexual relationship with this incredible being who has raised me. So that's one of the fun things we get to play with in season 2. And like I said, it's like we don't try to give you answers. We try to ask the questions. There's like this, chaos in the center of the empire. Things are falling apart. There's a war on the horizon. Like the time is now. Like it's on the turn, and the immediacy of that, I think, is a lot of fun to play.
Absolutely,
in a very detailed way.
I absolutely love the series. I love both of you, and I can't wait for everybody to see season 2.
Cool.
Thank you both so much. Thank you.
Thanks for speaking with us today.
Of course. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Dang. Lee, Pace, and Laura Birn. So you got to watch The Foundation. It is, like I said, if you're into sci-fi at all, you're already most likely extremely familiar with the literary works of Isaac Asimov in The Foundation. If you're not, this is a great time to jump in. Season 1, the full season, is already up on Apple TV. Season 2 is releasing now. And, now you have some insights into season 2 and beyond and before and beyond and now. So, yes. So that is our episode. The Foundation is on Apple TV Plus now, and I love you. Let me know what you think of today's episode. Let me know what you think of The Foundation, of sci-fi, whatever you want to talk about. We're going to start including in future episodes some of the voice mails and messages and stuff that you leave for me in the show, and we'll respond to them here. And maybe yours will get featured. So you can use the iHeartRadio app and use the talkback button, which will directly email me your voicemail. And we can do it that way, or however you want to do it. Just find a way. You know where I am. All right. I will see you next week. I love you. We out.
Thank you for listening to Pop Culture Weekly. Hear all the latest at popcultureweekly.com.
They said it was unfilmable, but clearly it was filmable. The Foundation on Apple TV Plus.